Hello, everyone. This one's going to be really interesting. I'm going to tell a story to you. A story about ambition, risk, and tough decisions. You've built something really extraordinary. Maybe it's a Web3 platform that's going to redefine digital identity, or a developer tool that makes deploying applications as simple as flipping a switch. You've spent years on it, hired the best engineers, burned through late nights and weekends. Let's be honest, you spent a lot of money, probably millions or even more, to get that right. And now, here you are. You've got a product you're very proud of, a code base that's robust and scalable. Customers are trickling in. The vision feels real and tangible. But then, someone on your team, maybe your developer or your community lead or somebody, comes to you with this radical thought. Hey, let's open source this. Now, if you are anything like me, your first thought might be, have you lost your mind? After everything we've invested, our time, our money, our blood, sweat, and tears, you want us to give it away? Pause for a second. Believe me, I know that instinct. I know that gut reaction. But let's take a moment to dissect what this guy is trying to say. When you've poured everything into building something, when your team has sacrificed weekends and you've made those tough budget calls to prioritize features over marketing and to prioritize long term scale over quick wins, you feel a sense of deep ownership. You feel that it's your child, and in many ways it is. But let's think about why you built this in the first place. We did not build this just to keep it locked in a vault, right? We built it to solve a real world problem, to make an impact, to change how people interact with technology. So, the real question is, how do we scale that impact? How do we ensure that what we've built doesn't just serve a few customers? It becomes a foundation for an entire ecosystem. That is where open source comes in. Let us step back for a moment and look at the bigger picture. Some of the most transformative technologies, like Linux, Kubernetes, and Python, they weren't created by a single company. They were built by communities. They started with someone saying, let's open source this. Let us invite others to collaborate. And look where they are now. Linux powers the entire internet. Kubernetes redefined how we deploy software. And Python literally runs everything from websites to AI models. Now, this is the very thing that people often get wrong about open source. It is not about giving away the jewels on your crown. It's about creating a bigger stage. When you open source your project, you're inviting the world's brightest minds to contribute to your vision. You're building a community and not just a product. I know what you're thinking right now. But what about the business? How does this make financial sense? Let's talk about that. Open source isn't charity, don't get me wrong here. It's a very smart strategy. Think about the companies that have built billion-dollar businesses on open source. Red Hat did not mint money by selling software. They made money by selling trust, support, services, and expertise around their open source product. You've definitely heard of MongoDB. They went public because their open source database became the standard for modern applications. They monetized through cloud services and enterprise solutions. And the truth of the matter is, when you open source your project, you're not losing control. Instead, you're gaining adoption. Developers are now more likely to choose your product because they now can see the code, they can trust its integrity, they can contribute to its evolution and be a part of its development. That is how you truly go from being a product to being a platform. And platforms don't just serve customers, they create ecosystems. Now, what was the result? Lower acquisition costs, faster innovation, and a very loyal developer community that doesn't just use your product but also advocates for it. Wait, I still know what you're thinking. What about the risks? What if someone forks the code and competes with us? What about intellectual property? These are all valid concerns, but they're manageable. For one, licensing is your best friend. Whether it's Apache, MIT, or something more restrictive like AGPL, you can redefine how others use your code. You can retain control of your core business logic while open source the pieces that drive adoption and collaboration. If I think very practically, competition isn't going away whether you open source your product or not. But by open sourcing your product, you position yourself as the leader, the innovator, and you set that standard which others will follow. At the end of the day, code does not drive this world. Trust drives this world. It's all about trust. It's about saying to this big world that we have utmost belief in what we've built, so much so that we want everyone to see it, to use it, and to improve it. That's how you create something that lasts, something that's bigger than just one company or one product. So here's my challenge to all of you. Let's think beyond what we've built and focus on what it can become. Let's turn our product into a platform, our users into contributors, and our vision into a movement. The world out there is ready to help us. The question is, are we ready to take the lead? I'm Pratham Sikka. This one was brought to you by the Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust, and I'll see you the next time. Open source, open doors. Happy contributing. Thank you.